You are entering the world of Master Shaman PaLiChee with PaLiChee Healing. We discuss here the universe, enlightened shamanism, and our world, informing the misinformed. Warmest blessings. This is Master Shaman PaLiChee coming in live with you today. And we were supposed to be out yesterday, but we postponed it to today. So those of you that are on Facebook, on YouTube, you can see that in the posts that I had put out there this morning. If you want to participate for free reading, healing, spirit messages, dream interpretation, or simply just calling in to talk with me about anything that you need an answer to, that's why it's called Dear Master Shaman PaLiChee, then you can definitely dial in the phone number at 763-319-8377. And I'll pick up your call to answer you and answer the question and talk with you with whatever it is that you need. But first of all, if you want to do this, please go out there to like, share the post publicly if you're on Facebook. If you're hearing this on YouTube, go out there to Facebook to like and share the post on Master Shaman PaLiChee, Psychic Medium Energy, a Spirit Energy Healer page, okay? And also, number 2, you must be a Facebook follower or subscribed on YouTube. The other thing is number 3, must type in the chat bar right at the right side here that you've done so as well. So go ahead and do that for me. Okay, and I will also type down what you're supposed to do. I think I did not put this on YouTube, but it's on the Facebook. So actually, if you can go out to Facebook and check that out as well. Let me see if I can copy and paste that. Let's see, I'll have my mediator go out there and do that as well. It's on Facebook. My Master Shaman PaLiChee Psychic Medium Spirit Energy Healer page, and these are the 3 things that you must do so that you can get a free reading, healing, and this is me doing it for you all out. So whatever I can do today. If you need a healing, if you need an energy type of healing, if something's been really down for you, whatever it is, you can give me a call and I will do that for you as much as I can today. Again, the reading is not like like a test reading. It's more like we'll do it an on-point reading. If you've done readings with me on an on-point reading, an on-point soul reading at expositions, I will do that for you today. If you can do the 3 things for me, which is to like, subscribe, and share the post publicly, to be a follower, to be a subscriber, to get what I'm doing here today. So I'm seeing that qhuab Bast is doing this. I'm going to see if, let's see, 1 second here. Dial-in is available. Of course, please choose the right timing to call in. If I'm doing a reading, I can see if I can answer you then. But if I am also, I will respond. So just call in. It's open line. So hold on 1 second if I can get to the place that I'm trying to go. I did not put this out there on YouTube, so I'm going to put it out there now on the chat bar. But whatever you need from me, it's in the description below, okay? And some of you are responding to me on Facebook. Please also go out there to the chat bar on the side on YouTube and do that as well for me. Let's see here. Any questions that you have for me, you can also put that in the chat bar as well. 1 moment here. Okay, hopefully this will be self-explanatory. It's right there on the chat bar, split into two of what you need to do. So right there. Okay. So through shamanism, our ancestors have tried coming back to break these bloodline curses that are deep within our humankind for over centuries. But you didn't know it, right? You just didn't know that. And you doubt and fear it. And you kind of let it go or you run away from it. And doubting and fearing is felt at the end of the day. Warmest blessings. This is Master Shaman PaLiChee with PaLiChee Healing. You'll see it on the screen there, www.palicheehealing.com. My spiritual journey began as a young child through ethereal phenomenon, unexplainable shamanic illnesses, NDEs, and paranormal encounters. We help thousands of people through enlightened shamanic and transformational healing on a global level, and we are here to inform the misinformed. So all links that you'll need from me is in the description below, and you can look there. Nhớ rằng nói Master Shaman PaLiChee nu nó của tôi ba nè sai hay sai phai là do đó nè thả cho tên cây lù là do bầu sáng bầu sủa ra chi nè họ do ô tê ya họ nè lúc nè họ chỉ bảo để yo ô li ya mù li nè hù tàu tôi rồi cú tụ sao tông nhớ rằng đời Isha on YouTube the Isha the nè sa xì nữa the họ nên đồng đời na nè một sáng đời là do nên đời đại đua nhớ đồ họ Facebook thia nếu mua của tụ phòng do trâu xa trâu bê bê y chua dì bê xa xa nữa nên tàu tuần đâu của thả tàu. Warmest blessings. Today we are going to talk about bloodline curses. And I'm going to do this first off before I go into the readings. Okay, so I'm switching it up today. Just throwing a curveball at everybody that's been used to watching with the Zodiac sign readings first. Today we're talking about bloodline curses. And why is it so important? Because it is the calling, right? The bloodline curses are making it a need for our ancestors to come back and come back again and again over the centuries to break these bloodline curses. So what are the bloodline curses that we're talking about? These are patterns, okay? Patterns of suffering. Has anybody gone through something that they felt that was a bloodline curse? Write that in the chat. Type that down for me, right? So bloodline curses can be sufferings, any suffering that you've been through, but over and over again. So sometimes you will go through a suffering, but it's a one-off suffering. And then sometimes you will go through a suffering, but it keeps coming back again and again and again, and you're going through the same cycle of suffering. Another thing is limitations. You're finding that these limitations keep coming back again and again. Also hardships. If you've been going through financial hardships and you go through it, like let's say 5 years ago, right? And you're going through it again today. That is also, and then you've gone through it and you've seen your parents gone through it in their lifetimes, but different years, right? That is a bloodline curse. It's something that appears to pass through several generations on and on and on. And in my shamanic viewpoint, bloodline curses comes from more than just malevolent or rather evil thought. Okay, it's more than that. It's more going towards rather an to every human being or a human being that wishes upon another human being a negative wish, a negative thought that is so deep that it becomes a curse. And this happens to another person. So from one person to another, human-wise, right? It can also be a negative entity or some kind of negative entity that comes in to curse the family or the person, and then it curses the bloodline. Or the person got themselves involved in a nefarious or negative, a very deep negative acts that had attracted and embodied a curse that caused it to become a bloodline curse. So, how did they continue through the generations? For some of you out there, if you're watching, type down in the comments below where you are watching from. I'd like to know. And I'd also like to know if you've gone through, or that if you think that you have gone through a bloodline curse. Because I believe that I have. And that's why I became the shaman that I am today. So let me know in the comments, right? Have you, or do you feel that you've gone through a bloodline curse, or that you maybe have seen someone else gone through a bloodline curse? Maybe you don't want to, really say that you did. So could you be in denial, or do you really not have a bloodline curse, right? So how do they continue to, come through the generations, these bloodline curses? How does that happen, right? They continue through generations by what began as a curse. Initially it's a curse, right? From either a human being, the person themselves, they got themselves into it because what they did on their acts or action, or it could have came from an entity of some sort that was negative, right? So what began as a curse now can become the acts, the behaviors, the traumas, the beliefs, right? The choices that influences the person and either, their family or future generations. If unhealed, these all become deeply rooted, and it becomes habits and emotional patterns that they get to go through. The people, right? The human beings that continue until someone in the family decides that they don't want it anymore. They make a decision to heal and to change and to become better, to improve themselves and to improve their lives, so that the bloodline curse cannot continue. But what's the strongest point that makes this bloodline curse not continue on? What is it? What do you guys think? Those of you that are watching, go like, subscribe, and hit on that notification button. If this is important to you in your daily life, and that you know that you've gone through some kind of bloodline curse, but maybe you can't even pinpoint it, right? What it is. But you just know you feel unlucky. You feel like you always get the shorter end of the stick, like they say. And it always happens in the cycle. Every 1, 3, or 5 years, it continues to happen again. What is this feeling that you're getting, right? Have you gone through a bloodline curse? And if you have, definitely call in. It doesn't have to be about curses, right? But we're talking about it right now. If you've gone through some kind of a curse and you know it, and it shows, right? It shows in your life, and you just can't believe that it is one. You're thinking, oh, it's just the person that has bad habits. Then I'm telling you today that it's a bloodline curse if it's happened in cycles over and over again. So how do you recognize these bloodline patterns, bloodline curse patterns on your own? How many of you know that you had it, but then you don't know how to recognize it? So what you do is you ask yourself these questions, okay? What struggle seems to be repeated throughout my family? What are the struggles in my family that I've seen come up over and over and over again? Right? That you actually realized, that you actually recognize, and you're conscious to. Some people may have these come over, these these negative or bad habits, they call it, that repeats over and over and over again, right? Or someone will say, oh, it's your bad habit that caused you to go into a financial dissolution, right? A financial issue. It's your bad habit that you have a bad relationship, right? But if you take a deeper look at it, it's a struggle that repeats itself. So could it be a bloodline curse that someone put on the family, or something put on the family? These are all good questions to ask yourself so that you could recognize if it is a bloodline pattern. What fears or beliefs has been passed down from generation to generation? What are the fears or the beliefs? Are there recurring patterns that involve relationships, finances, illnesses, anger, any addictions within the family? What lessons continue to appear despite different circumstances? What are the lessons that continue to appear despite the different circumstances? So being conscious of the pattern, right, is often the first step towards transforming it, towards this being willfully in yourself, giving it your passion, your love, and compassion to stop hating on what's happening, to stop being angry at what's happening, but to actually step out of that anger, step out of that being sad of what's happening and what has been happening for generations, stepping out of that pattern and saying, hey, what is the pattern that's been happening and can I fix it? Can I change it for the better? My question to you is, how are bloodline curses removed? How can they be removed? Or did you think about them and wanting them to be removed? Or were you even conscious to them? Right? Because I go back to what I said, is bloodline curses happen. Yes, and they've happened for centuries and time again for different generations. And some people in the family may be able to recognize them, and others may just kind of, throw it in the back burner and say, hey, it's a bad habit. I can't, really deal with that person's bad habit. They're just going to have to deal with it themselves. Yes, that's easy to say. But then again, do you also have that bad habit as well? Maybe not as bad as the other person, right, in the family, but you still have it, right? So how are you going to get this removed or get it fixed? Or if you have a will, right? Everybody may have a will, but can you also take this will and take action upon it? So from an enlightened shamanic perspective, healing begins really with awareness and responsibility. Rather than living in fear and denial and focusing on these things instead. So acknowledging the repeating patterns. You must acknowledge the repeating patterns and not deny them. You need to choose to forgive instead of being angry, instead of being sad all the time, to the point where it can be very depressing, because that's where some depression comes from, and anxiety is because you keep repeating the same cycle and you don't know how to get rid of it. So you are, your head is spinning basically. So you need to choose to stop and heal through forgiveness where it's appropriate and shift your mindset. By doing this, you will shift your mindset. These are things that you can do on your own. Learn to live with greater integrity and moral character. If you don't have integrity right now and you seem to find yourself or catch yourself lying to your partner or your boyfriend or girlfriend or your husband or wife or even a friend, right? You catch yourself lying all the time because you're what? Fearful of something. So this is, you're not having integrity. You're not choosing to be in integrity. Or you're also not choosing to have a good moral character. So learn to live with greater integrity and moral character. Choosing to participate in safe spiritual cleansing, prayer, meditation, and healing types of practices. So even a small ritual right in the get-go, so right at the morning time, you wake up, you choose to even to affirm to yourself that today I'm going to live with integrity and good moral character. Even just this little gesture is going to make a small shift in the bloodline curses. I kid you not. No, not kidding at all. and not sugarcoating something as well. So remember that when you find out or that you realize and you recognize these habits or these patterns through you're admitting to yourself there's some kind of bloodline curse, right? So make the conscious choices that you need to make to create healthier, something of a healthier legacy for future generations and your own generation that you still are living in. For example, some simple things such as changing the foods or whatever you're eating can help already shift and change the bloodline curse. These are all small gestures that you're doing, but in essence, it's going to really move out the big thing that is the deep thing that has been there for a long time. If you could just change 1 to 2 things per day, that's going to make a healthier legacy for your generation and the future generations ahead. So another example is, if you were to do different activities, like your regular activities that you usually would do, maybe you switch it up, right? You switch it up and you change it from maybe getting up in the morning and, doing, just maybe taking a coffee or drinking some coffee or tea. Instead of doing that, maybe you exercise instead right at the morning time. Or maybe you meditate right away in the morning time and do your morning ritual to better yourself. And these types of things are acts that you can consciously choose to do on a daily basis, rather than reacting to something that you can't change. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense to all of you, because I know that from a client's from working with multiple clients, right? From their perspective, it's really hard to change. It's really hard to do something and then do it again and again and again to change a bad habit, or we call it the bloodline curses that we're talking about today. So the goal is not only to break the curse. So remember that if you're trying to just like say, I want to do this short term, I just want to break the curse and just let it go away because I don't want to face it anymore. I don't want to deal with it anymore. It's not going to work. You must allow transformation, a time for transformation. So the patterns can come through wisdom, right? And compassion and discipline, so that it's a self ritual to get yourself there. Now, if you don't know how to do this, then you must find the place to do this or a person that can teach you how to do this. Does this sound familiar to all of you that are rising shamans or rising unique healers? Because if you are rising, that means that you are trying to get out of the bloodline curse, that whatever that you did not like in being in, right? Or whatever the situation was, maybe it occurred over and over and over again, that you just got super tired of it and you got to get out. And now you're looking for your soul. We call it the soul searching phase, right? And then we get the spiritual growth phase, that you're growing your spirituality. You're becoming somebody in your spirituality. You're becoming more spiritual. You're leaving this more phase or this area that you once were, this person that was more 3D, as they call it. And you're trying to move your way up to 5D or more conscious mindset. So remember that to break the curse, you're not going to break it all at once. Now you can, but it may be short term and then it may come back. But how to do it for long term is you must allow the time for transformation. Wanting to break the curse immediately is going to have a fallback, right? So it's going to be temporary and you're going to be feeling as though you did something, but then now you're falling back. So now you're going to feel like you failed if you're doing it on your own. Even if you were to do it with a healer, or we call it a witch, pagan, or somebody that wants to break the curse, right? Then You want to do it quick, but then you may feel like they failed you at breaking that curse. Why? Because doing it immediately and very fast is going to be very short term as well. So you must be willing to heal. And healing is not a one-time thing, not all the time anyways. Although I've had healings that worked at a one go, okay? But it all depends on the criteria of how bad this bloodline curse is. I call it a bloodline curse. Some people may call it really bad habits that they have and they can't break it. And their parents had it and their grandparents had it as well. So that's a bloodline curse. We can't deny that, right? So a universal truth that I was taught by my guides is if you choose love, if you choose to love, and if you choose love in general, this emotion of love over any other emotion, because love comes compassion, right? Or vice versa. The curse simply can be manifested out. But this is easier said than done, right? For most humans anyways, that's on the planet. So if you were to choose love each and every day and work with love, work with compassion and kindness, because that's coming from love, then this bloodline curse or these bad habits may just be shifted out. But how much can you do that? Realistically, as a human being, you may have deep anger, you may have deep sadness, that love you just can't feel the love for anyone or anything, even yourself. So you must come back to love. That's the universal truth. So before I get to the gold nugget, I want to share this. There is my book out there. It's a teaching memoir, okay? And this teaching memoir, it's called The Universal Laws of Mankind, a memoir in shamanic aspect. It's the raw, unedited version, and it's out there on Amazon. You can get the paperback or the hardbound copy. There is a QR code on the screen, and you can click on that or put that your phone over that if you're on the PC. But that's the QR code to get to the book. This book is a teaching memoir on basically my life and how I became a shaman and what I went through and what I learned with the specific universal laws of mankind that I point out in the book to help and show you, illustrate for you what it means. And if you can read between the lines of the book, you'll get it. As the 8-pointed star is within this book to help you grow with your spiritual gifts as well. So as we go through this, here's the gold nugget. The gold nugget truth is spiritual DNA healing is one of the biggest keys to bloodline curse removal or clearing or whatever you want to call it, breaking the curse, right? But breaking the curse, people often think if you break the curse, it's like a one-time like slash on that rope and it breaks, right? It can be that depending on the criteria that we're working with. But most times we're going to be working with shifting and changing of the mindset, shifting and changing of the spiritual DNA. So the gold nugget is you must search for someone, or if yourself, right, if you know how, and shift your spiritual DNA to do healing in that direction. At PaLiChee Healing, we perform spiritual DNA, and I do it all the time. Through my songs, you've heard them. Through my drumming, you've heard that. Through gonging, you've also heard that for some of you. If you worked with me before, you won't hear it, but you're with me. So I'm doing that. through chi energy healing. We perform spiritual DNA to help bring transformation and remove the curse for long term, to be away long term, so it doesn't come back, and you as the person, the human being, can then utilize and take action to continue to take action and not reaction, but to act in ways that will improve yourself so that this bloodline curse is out the door for the long term. And it's not just going to be seen in your generation, but it will also be seen in your children's, if you have them. And also, if you are married, you will see that your wife or husband is taking on this good improvement as well. If they are willing and able to hear you and to be with you and to love you in that way, then they will receive some of this as well. And that's just the honest truth of the changed spiritual DNA. So, how many of you know about spiritual DNA and that you can shift and change that in a specific direction? I've seen that firsthand, from child to adult. So I'm very confident that that can happen. And also through the disciples that I work with. And some won't even know it. But it's good for them. And they've become better. And they've become improved on their integrity, their humanistic integrity. They've improved on their own gifted abilities. They've improved highly on their intelligence and sophisticated brain. They've improved on their daily habits. If they were to look back like 5 years ago, they've improved, right? So this is a very sacred healing method. Becoming the generation that brings healing is what you need to start thinking about if you haven't already. If you know you have a bloodline curse, you must think about becoming that generation that brings healing, that changes everything in your bloodline, in your family. I know a lot of you that have come to me and says, Master PaLiChee, I know I want to be a shamanic practitioner because I want to change. I know I want to be a shamanic practitioner because my mom, my dad, or whoever in my family doesn't see me and doesn't take me seriously. There's people in my family or my relationships or, relatives that doesn't see me in a certain light, and they make fun of me or they don't believe in me. They don't support me in what and how I think. Master PaLiChee, can you help me? And then we take it on through trauma, karma, release sessions, shifting the DNA, okay? Shifting it, healing the brain set, becoming more high in vibration of your spiritual thermostat, right? We've talked about spiritual thermostat before. For those of you that are watching right now, I'm going to stop right here. If you haven't already, and this is you watching us so far up to this point, we're about 33 minutes in. Go click on the like, subscribe, follow button on Facebook, right? And hit that notification bell. It's free and you can pay it forward that way freely. You can also chat in the chat bar with me. Don't be afraid. All right? Because the more that you want to chat, the more that you will get information. And I'm willing, more than willing to give it to you guys. I want to share it for you guys because why? Why am I sharing all this stuff? Because it's happened for me. I've experienced it firsthand. And because it's helped me so much along the way that I just can't keep it. I just can't keep it a secret, right? I've never have throughout my journey. That's why I've been on YouTube since 2009. So whenever I'm sharing something important, it almost seems like people kind of tune out. But that's the important piece. But if you want to hear entertaining things, then I can do that as well, right? So becoming that generation that brings healing, you must be willing to rise on your journey. If those are you that are rising, are trying to, and you're self-rising, and you can only do that to a certain degree. Understand that clearly, okay? I'm going to do another talk on self-rising and then versus self-rising. Self-rising versus self-rising. There's two differences in who thinks is what, okay? How many people would want to hear that? Let me know in the comments or in the chat bar. If you want to hear the difference between self-rising and self-rising, one versus the other, there's two differences. There's two different self-risings. I noticed that there's two different definitions out there as we speak. So I wanted to clarify these two different definitions for you guys. Who would want to hear about this? Great, we have a hand. We have a hand up. Don't be afraid to chat with me. Because if you're listening, I know that you are here for resources. And it's always been the case, right? You can't deny that. It's just like if you have a bloodline curse and you're trying to deny that. Are you ever going to get it healed? No, you're not. If you don't face it and if you don't allow yourself to see the truth and to say the truth, how are you going to heal that part of you? It's very difficult, isn't it? And you're going to go into a cycle again. So, healing, be the generation that heals. Be the generation that changes your family bloodline curse. Shamanic teachings reminds us that healing is not only for ourselves, ever, right? But also for those who come before us and those that will come after us, the next generations. When one person chooses truth, forgiveness, and we just talked about truth, but they choose forgiveness, accountability, spiritual growth, they begin creating new legacies for the younger generations in their family. And they also start to shift and change the dynamic of their family. Whether they're building their own family or their intermediate family and or other people that surround them. They may not know it, but they're changing and shifting each person that they surround themselves with. It's through themselves. If they are of a higher vibration and they're surrounding themselves with other siblings, other family members and relatives and friends and whoever else, and me here out on YouTube, I'm shifting and changing each part of you right now as we speak. You've heard it through the drumming. You've heard it through my singing. If you felt the tingles, if you felt the energy vibes that shifted your body a little bit, and you shook, you vibrated, and you felt that peace inside, I kid you not, there was a piece of you that shifted. If you are the generation that wants to bring healing, then you will need to say yes to the truth. If you're called or chosen to become a unique healer, shaman, or other type of healer, this would be you, right, that I'm talking to. And if you want to become, or you are already in the benevolent collective, then these are the times that are for you. In these times, we see more than one family member who has the urge to change and do better. Right now, it's been for maybe the last 10, 15 years. We've seen more than one family member being called to become a shaman, being called to become a healer. It's more than one family member. They're being called because why? It goes back to what I started, my statement at the beginning of this show, is they're being called by the ancestors. Because it's as if we need to team up and break the bloodline curse. Not just one person in the family, but a couple of people in the family if the ancestors can get to them through what? Their mind, their thoughts, to help them improve. If they don't, this person don't resist the ancestors. And it could be the ancestors. It can also be a high being of some sort. We call them the lighted beings, right? Or ETs. They can also be angelic beings or angels, angel guides, however you want to call them by their name. They can also be of a energy that is good and benevolent, that wants to help you, or that you may be tuned into them to come and help you. If we don't work together as a team or family, so to speak, whether as a family member or as a benevolent collective, the negative energies will just continue to influence humankind, to stay in their bloodline curses, right? And to begin compounding one bloodline curse over another and another and another until what happens? The apocalypse, right? And can we shift and change in ways that we need to improve as humanity needs to or should? This is the awakening of humanity on earth. For all of you that maybe have not known it, maybe you knew it, but you didn't know it to a certain degree, or you didn't know it this way. And I'm telling you today that the bloodline curse is the thing that is also causing you to rise as a shaman. If you can understand this. This is again the awakening of humanity on earth. It's been happening for centuries, bit by bit. But now, today, it's more than ever on the planet. Here's my closing thoughts to this talk. Whether you understand and become conscious of the root cause or patterns through a spiritual, ancestral, psychological lens, the invitation to improve is the same. Become the one who chooses healing over repetition, wisdom over fear, and compassion over resentment. True liberation begins when you consciously create an improved future, right? An improved future than the one that you inherited. You can't get mad, you can't get too sad and be in depression over the cycle that has bombarded you in this lifetime. You must stand yourself up, and if you can't do it on your own, as we talked about earlier, all the points that we talked about earlier are points that you could do on your own that I'm giving you freely to know how to do. But if you can't do that on your own, then you're going to need who? You're going to need a teacher, a sifu, a coach, whatever you want to call it, but somebody to lead you there. Because you're not able to do it on your own. You can't scratch your back on some places, right? Questions, type it down in the chat or by the side. I'm going to jump into my zodiac sign readings right now. If you have questions, you can definitely call. Everyone is very afraid to call and talk in person, or maybe they don't have a question, but the question will be, then you're still watching and you're still wanting to gain resources. So that means there are questions within. And you can't be afraid to ask the questions, right? Because why? The person that asks the questions is the one that will know. If you don't ask the question, then you will never know. And then there's those that are very, very curious, and they have a ton of questions, but they can only receive the answers, like 1 to 2 answers, even after they question, like 20 questions, right? So here we go. We're going to go into and dive into our Cancer, Leo, and Virgo zodiac signs. Okay. So Cancer, this is going to be for you, Cancer zodiac sign. Next week, we are going to be doing shamanic oracle messages instead. Very similar, but just a little bit different. Okay. But we're going to start on shamanic oracle messages for the show. So here we go for Cancer sign, Cancer zodiac. My Cancer collectives out there. We have a call. Okay, hold on one second. I'm going to turn on my... I'm sorry, I'm turning on my Bluetooth here. Give me one moment. Give me one moment. The gal that called, you might just have to call me one more time. Call me one more time. I just threw in my Bluetooth. Sorry about that. Go back and dial. I think it'll work this time. We missed your call. I think it's Hein or when. When? Here we go. All right. Is it... Say your name once for me.
Maya? Yeah, Maya.
Mayela.
Is it
Okay.
once for me?
Maya, if you
Yeah.
can speak up a little bit for me. Okay, what is your
Can you hear me?
question, Maya?
Hi, Master PaLiChee. So I've been watching your video a lot. I just have a question. I've been like on this business venture, and it doesn't seem to be. Okay, I think it's slowly getting somewhere, but it doesn't seem to be doing much. So my thought is just wondering, like, is there anything that is, I don't know, like blocking me, or is there like a message that I need to hear that I'm just not getting, or
You're
like if it's something that I'm supposed to be doing or not?
mm-hmm. And this is a business, you said, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm getting is that you need some quiet time, like a quiet space. And this quiet space, you must go back to your board or the whiteboard. I feel like you've been doing, like, maybe putting down tons of ideas, but you're also, there's a part of you that feels like your inner willpower feels very, I don't want to say tired, but it feels like it's blocked. Okay. Do you feel that way?
I do feel like something is blocked. Like I honestly, I feel like I'm very capable, very creative.
Yeah.
So the drive is there,
Mm-hmm.
but it definitely does feel blocked.
Mm-hmm. So there needs to be some quiet time to contemplate on what it is that you're truly doing if it's not like off the ground yet. This, your business, right?
Mhm.
Because it doesn't feel like it's
Okay.
off the ground yet, or it's off, but it feels, is it feeling like it's a bit slow?
It does. It does feel like it's a little bit slow, and I don't know if I'm getting the accurate understanding, but supposedly it's been told to me multiple times that it's tied to my spiritual like journey
Mm-hmm.
of what I'm doing. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of work needs to
Yes,
be
there is
done.
some work to do. I feel like you're ahead of yourself a lot. So you want to get it off and going and up and going, but and then you're ahead, but then you're this business of yours is still at the back of you. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So then you are like ready and going, but then there's a part of you that is not ready and going. And that's the blockage there. I'm gonna bring in a spirit message for you, okay?
Okay.
có mama, có yo mu cha cha, địa sĩ có nhân giống, có lý tiền địa tu, con địa tu, cho lý trả, có cho lý đỡ, hồ có lúc xia, đó có lúc lỡ, giá tàu, khó cha, khó mà, yo mu có cho sa sai, địa sĩ wa xuyên đấy mà, mình xài, tua có, day. That is your stick or your staff. Tua có cha. Đó cá mù sủa rơ rồng. Sai có yếu ô lý cha. Đỡ có cho cá, đỡ có cho kế. It feels like something is perhaps a little bit skewed, as in how it started, how the reason, the why behind that whole business. So you may have to go back and to the whiteboard, as when I when I started, to reassess, but not reassess as in logically write it down and reassess, but to go into a more meditative phase or meditation to reassess. Does that make sense for you?
So is it kind of like I had a reason when I first started, and then I've kind of steered away from that a little bit.
Yeah, it's a bit skewed, like off tracked a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
how you started is a bit, it's not how you are now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, it does.
And the whole why, it's not being felt very passionately anymore. Though the business feels passionate for that business, but your why isn't there,
Okay, okay.
right?
Mhm.
So for you, I would suggest you to write a mission statement for yourself. I say this to all the ones I've coached before, is write a mission statement on your why. Why are you doing this business? Go back to the
Okay.
basics. Why are you out there? What are you doing? Who are you trying to help? And come from
Okay.
a place of, it's more like a place of compassion, a place of, I want to help because of this, right? Like, what is that why?
Mhm.
So why don't you take a slow, deep breath for me, Maya?
Mhm.
And I'm just going to open up this part of you that has been blocked. Okay. Deep breath. And you can tell me if you feel something. And deep breath. Ah, I feel it right there. There's a tingle there or a slight shift. Can you feel that?
Mhm.
Yes, yes, no.
Yes.
And envision now. There's a white candle lighting up for you. Take a slow, deep breath, Maya. And I want you to start to feel this candle light inside, inside. Deep breath now. Can you feel that energy flowing in?
Yes.
And slowly open up your eyes. How are you doing?
I feel better. I feel your message is just, it pretty much just reconfirmed what I've been feeling
Good,
and telling myself.
good. Good. I'm glad that we
Yes.
reconfirmed that for you, or confirmed that for you.
Yes. Thank you very much, Master PaLiChee. I
Yes, you're
appreciate it.
welcome. Yes, warmest blessings.
Okay. Bye.
Yes, bye-bye. All right. That was a good call. We did some energy healing for Maya. And I believe Maya is also a follower out there on Facebook. So thank you for following Maya. Please also subscribe to the channel as well if you are getting the gold nuggets today. And let's go through this quickly. Unless there's other calls, then I may not get through my zodiac sign readings. But we're going to do Cancer. Cancer, I'm going to pull up a card for you. And I think I did right before Maya called. So here we go. Cancer. Cancer, this is a time. This is a time for you, Cancer Collective, that you don't back down. You need to stand up for what you believe in, especially if you've been through a very tough time. Why are you backing down now, right? Cancer Collective. On a scale of 0 to 10, you're at a -2. What does that tell me? That tells me that your energy vibe is very low, and it's feeling pretty down on what you're trying to go towards, okay? You're almost like taking 2 steps back from what you did try to do, right? So you're taking 2 steps back from what you did try to do, and I want you to start to get up again. There's certain things in your love life that you need to pay attention to. You can be the person that chooses to make this love life better, okay? And you can shift and change it too, because you have the energy of a magical person. You have the energy of the person that can manifest, but you're not doing it as what you should. Cancer Collective. If you did, I'll tell you this, in this week, because this is based on the weekly reading, Cancer Collective, you can choose to have the next coming days, right, into the next coming 3 days to be the best days of your life, if you wanted to. If you wanted to. But you're not choosing to do that. Instead, you're just kind of down and feeling like you've been like a heavy weight has been just put onto you and that you can't move, right? But if you choose to say, hey, I'm going to take this heavy weight off now, it's not going to be on me and it's not heavy. If you can just say it this way, then it will start to lift itself out and you will start to get yourself up and you will say, I'm going to be getting up and I'm going to be facing this relationship in a way that shows that I want it a certain way. I want it a certain way. And if I want it this way, I know I'm going to be happier, and the person, my partner, is going to be happier if I put it in this way. So, Cancer Collective, I know you're trying to do a ton of things at once as well. Like, making somebody else happy, making yourself happy, taking care of kids, perhaps, if you have kids, Cancer Collective. Or maybe it's not kids, maybe it's your family members that you're trying to make happy, or whoever it is that you're trying to make happy. You need to start to delegate so that you can just focus on 3 things, right? If you can just focus on 3 things, Cancer Collective, then I believe that you're going to be a happier person and that you can start to utilize your manifestation skills or your thoughts, I'll say. Though you may not, some of you may not know how to manifest, at least you would think and know about your desires. What do you desire in your relationship, Cancer Collective? Because that's where we're going today, is into your relationship and helping you to get up from the feeling of overwhelm that you've been doing way too much and that you're going to be doing way too much if you were to do the manifestation, the helping of the person next to you, the coaching, the counseling, right, of that person next to you, because literally you've been doing something in that direction. but you're being very tired now. You're tired out. Feels draining now. And so you're backing up. But compassion, okay? Compassion is coming back. Cancer Collective. Compassion is coming back because you are feeling down and you need to start and you shouldn't back down, right? It says don't back down. Cancer Collective. You need to start to keep going into the direction in which you started. Okay, in which you started. Don't back down. Don't, take 2 steps back from where you already was. So you need to come, and this is the week where you need to put your thoughts into it. Put your thoughts into it. Delegate what you need to do and make a say on how you want your love life to be. Okay? If you don't make a say, Cancer Collective, then the say will make it for you. Okay? Here we go. Someone says here. Dating a Cancer, this reading hits the spot on as the person on the outside seeing it. Mali Vang had said that. Okay. We're going to move next to the next zodiac sign reading, which is Leo. My Leos out there, if you are watching, say hi. Tell me where you guys are watching from. Leo collectives out there, this is for you, okay? If you want to call in and talk, this is the time. Don't be a keyboard warrior. I always like to talk in person because it's just much better that way. And it's just more real, right? Leo collective, this is for you. Pulling up cards. We've got the 9 of clover. Lots of need for focus this week, Leo collective. If you don't focus, you're not going to get what you want done too. Because there's been distractions. There's been distractions, and you know that you can also, we get the High Priestess card for you, Leos, Leo collective. If you tune into the distractions, Leo, then you're not going to get to where you want to go even by the end of the week or the summer, okay? Hello, this is Master Shaman PaLiChee on the Dear Master PaLiChee show. Who am I speaking to? 朵了. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
What is your question, 朵?
Kuha question there. I'm like stuck on Kuha. I feel stuck. And last year Kuha bought there more nice so I feel like I'm going nowhere.
Okay.
Like what you go chỉ用I'm just like yung ko more misfortune. Not unlucky tamo like
Okay.
So
What I'm getting is nếu mua khó kế nhớ được có được khen này nhở. Okay. Ý khó kế nhớ được có được khen và yếu tố cho là yếu tố cho lúc hư chỉ mong là để lúc hư chỉ na, right? So that ends up being like, I don't see that you have a high ego and pride, but there's something there. But that's not really the exact thing that con need to draw to. Họ con need to draw na, nếu bông trâu ít họ kế hạt địa, ít là tu xia theo nhỏ. Con mới họ kế tu xia, bông trâu đời kế ba na nhỏ. Nên gì rồi chỉ mua họ kế ba con à. Ý là ít tuần hành ba con là yếu tuần hành ba con, thiết chớ con đa rõ. Is that true?
Yes, that's true. Của thọ của má của đại lỡ chính trong gang của thế của cháu family member là ở tại there có của chị phát đến ta nó ở của nhau sẽ tầm lấy
Có chỉ cho đó chị nó.
có của chị phát ở sáu
Oh, chỉ cho ở sáu nó lo. Yeah. And they will not understand you, Tua. Okay. Your parents definitely will not understand your journey. Okay. So what you need to do is lỡ hai lý cha là do có tụ mó lỡ. Okay. Lỡ hai lý nó. Lên từ hai lý cha là có tụ mó lỡ chỉ do lỡ chỉ cả thơ có lỡ chỉ tao tao có nó because chỉ do lỡ tụ mó nữa. Okay. Chỉ biết hai tiệt tụ mó nó mà chỉ sai tao tiệt it's bad. Okay. Chỉ sai tao tiệt nó pay á.แต่ชีย才到แต่อียาก็要到มุนจีจะเก่งเด้อเอก่อนในเที่ยวลีป้าตัวก็เลยตอนเต้นนะเนี่ยป้องโจอียาเนี่ยเขาปตาไปหาย bloodline curse นะยอใช่ตัวแต่เนี่ยมวยอีจะเก๋ชีชัวรงโจเนี่ยก็เลยอีจะ misfortune อีจะเก๋มวยเตลูกคู่ละลูกเวงกูยิ่งบอกให้แต่ยิ่งมวยเขาคู่เวงแต่ชีเนี่ยป้องโจเนี่ยก็เนี่ยก็จีนะยอnhưng mà nó chỉ mua tu cả đời là tu sát bỏ na giờ tu sát bỏ tu sát chia hạt tiền giờ đi bây giờ đời đi chả mà bây giờ chỉ được phim một họ ý là đi phải ignore so is that correct chỉ mua cho ít sao tao muốn đi suy chỉ không thấy chỉ mua cho giờ tu nó đi nó suy không thấy ôn tới suy là chỉ mua ít khó thì chỉ mua ít tu nên giờ là hạt tiền ô là phải sai sửa sai không thấy ôn đi trả tiền là na giờ chị mà nói chị thổ có chơi có mua khỏi kỹ năng gì nó là cho con á chị sẽ tôi tiền lỡ là cha có ok lỡ là cha có là khoác khế con á hay tiền ô có yêu ô đi trả thế thì ba tô có chỉ năng á two có nhiều có chỉ có cho siblings na right chị có yêu ô đi trả nó thì she thổ lỡ chị cho nên chỉ hay nó thế chị ô đó có lúc đa do tua kia nữa ok does that make sense
Yes, it does.
Chị ô đâu có tôi nó mong hai tôi hai lo lu hai tiệt tôi rò nó này nhỏ là do lú rò chơi lỡ này nhỏ chị không nói chị sai tôi tiệt lỡ là chị có lý nó là hai có chỉ trong lý nó chị sai tôi tiệt lỡ tức khi đó có tiệt bé chị bé chị tông cả có ba lỡ nó này nhỏ bé chị tông cả có ô số gì bé chị tông cả这个班的收了呢呢才lý nó呢chị才到底个就可能可以is more apparent. There's probably at least 1 to 2 that's very more apparent than the others, and they will feel very also sad about what has been said. If they say if your parents, your family members have said that about you, then it hits to your spiritual guides as well. Did you know that? So, có chỉ tao ý là chỉ tao muốn thiết kế hay để có và ý thứ sư phụ nào bây giờ để có sau khi có lúc đa dạng này giờ chỉ tao mua khó nói right
tao mua
thì sai tao thì có bí mua khó năng sư này chị lỡ chỉ sĩ hà lý nó sẽ có lỡ này chị có cho khoa nữ ý nhau đa dạng kia lỡ nó nè make sense
make sense.
Chị at the same time chị thổi là rồi nó là chị rồi nó nè ni rồi sai tao thì let's say for example you have some puppies with you right but then there's another person that you're walking along this path and the puppies are like 3 puppies are walking with you but you walk along this path and as an analogy someone comes along the path and says oh your puppies are this and this and this and then lấy chị cái cho ấu nè lấy chị cho mình ấu đến là có ít sao nè chị cho mình ấu lấy chỉ bao lú để she lấy bao they can hear the frequency lấy nó có energy lấy nó chọn gây luôn nữa tới tua rồi lấy theo nhưng mà nó chỉ lấy tu sửa chị lấy chỉ sáng nó có muốn walk lại does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Chị at the same time because có yêu tu owner đời chọn đời cho puppy nữa nè because you're the owner of the puppies, then you're also going to be hit with that sadness too, or with anger sometimes. Right? So,你中意攞啦呀？chị có vô ý chấp lời na, chị có vô tàu đặc cá là cho có tụ khen. Đặc cá mù, yêu có chỉ tàu mù meditation. Okay, start with some meditation. All right? We also have, I would also say that for you, Guyo suggest có hạt tía, cho cái khó nữa có tụ khen na có có chỉ xong một khó rồi tụ tua rõ na bây giờ, thế khó rồi tụ xia na ok, nếu tụ xia ta rõ nhá hả? Thì it called pick me up, like a boost. It called had the or ba gonna got circle da no. Okay. Nu no ku ya ba come may no, okay? Does that make sense?
Yes. Oh, just what my 2 hands are shaking.
As I talk, your hands are shaking.
Uh-huh.
Thì còn nó tức bóng liều không ta của hai tia có cho khoa na là tức nó hai tia cú nhớ nó là right. Là tức nó hai tia cú luôn châu luôn lù cho lù của hai sư từ ô đồ có lù xia xí cái cho khoa là bây giờ.
Yeah.
Chị mà nói chị cho khoa tu xia hình na. Chị còn nói chị cú gì nó tàu hai tia là tu xia na. That's why cú thấy hai tàu lên đó. Chị có mua li all to khoa na, they got the main spirit guides. Lỡ sáng kỳ lo that she learn kỳ chứ tao. This is something that kuya pa có calm có tu khen that she at the same time sơ có lúc đa rõ. So take a deep breath with me, okay? Hai cái lúc bây ý rồi của your full name.
Tổ cha.
Tua cha bây giờ. Okay. Or ý ra pa rồi của. There's some good energies flowing in now, tua. Ít cho energy rồi rong lò nữa, okay? Là ba sơ có. Là ba cũng có. Or ý ra pa. How are you feeling now?
I'm feeling much better. Oh, I feel more energy.
There you go. Okay. Only not I'll say that if you want to go talk further about this and moving forward, and probably more like trauma release first, and then we'll talk about your journey because you do still need to release some of those blockages. Then we can I'd say that I would suggest one-on-one spiritual diagnosis, the healing. Okay.
Okay.
边度可能问题就可一个字里就是慢慢冇我宁我也係可能係nửa block gone okay, because got you ready as in internally ready. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Để cú cho chị đi nó okay?
Hello.
Okay, we'll take this as this. All right, tua. Warmest blessings.
Thank you.
Yes. Olina, yo có chỉ tao mua nè chị mua like, follow, thế subscribe à? What cho à?
Của tôi ta à?
Lo. Okay, what cho à? Okay.
Chưa ta.
Bye bye.
Chưa.
Okay, so moving on to our Leo, I believe it's Leo. Leo reading. Leo reading. I pulled out some cards for you, Leo. We've got the 9. I don't know where I left off, but we're going to continue this reading. And I'm just going to take calls as they come in. So this is for Leo. Leo, your Zodiac sign reading, Leo collective, is that you need to put focus intention into what it is that you're doing right now. You can make the say on what it feels like it's more going towards career this time for you, Leo. But you can make the say to shift and shape this area. It's been kind of tough for you because of the distractions that has come into that area, especially that career area, that business area, that you've been trying to work at it. It's been from a 0 to 9, or from a 0 to 10, you're at about a 9, negative 9 on trying to, I'll say that's between a 9 and a 10 negative, on trying to move yourself up the pattern, or the pattern, move yourself up the ladder in your focused mindset. So trying to focus in on that business, trying to focus in on that career has been really tough for you because of that distraction. And the distraction seems to be like somebody is not giving you recognition, or somebody is not recognizing and giving you the right support or the correct support. Instead, they are maybe holding you down or putting you down on what you're doing. And it seems like Leo, it perhaps could be yourself too, because it feels very close to you, Leo Collective. It feels very close to you that you cannot move or move or take action on your career journey. Okay, career journey, that is. So you need to find out, and you need to, it goes back to the one gal that called in, go back to knowing what this true why is. Why is it that you are doing this in the first place? We get the true love card for you, Leo Collective. Okay, the true love. And if you were to do this, then you'll start to find and focus, and you'll start to find what you're seeking. Okay, which is actually, you're focused in relationship. You're more focused for relationship. You're not really focused on business at all, but you're focused on relationship. You're focused in you needing love, care, and thought. And that you need, that it's almost kind of like you need this romantic stirring inside of you so that you can almost utilize that energy to run your business or career. So you need to start to not give in, right? But at the same time, be willing and open to seek for what you want to find, which is true love, which is now, in essence, not just the cards saying true love, but your why. Why are you doing this career or business? Okay. So go back to the basics. I will always say that for those that have a stuck point, because it's the truth, you've been stuck and you need to release that stuckness by actually searching for what this thing that you're so focused in your career and business, but you're actually wanting something else. And I want to tell you that you got to go for that something else, not the business. But you can still do the business, you can still do the career, but the love and relationship also needs some kind of attention to as well. All right, I'm going to stop right there for Leo and getting back into getting to Virgo zodiac. Okay, Virgo. So Virgo, this is going to be for you. We're going to pull up some cards for Virgo, and then we are going to head on out and close this show. Okay. So this is going to be for Virgo. Virgo, this is for you. Pulling up some cards here. We get the home card for Virgo. Okay, Virgo, home card. Virgo, your energy feels a little bit overwhelmed. And yet it feels like you're just coming back from rest. Coming back from rest. As if you had some kind of rest, a little bit at least, and you're coming back from it and you're being refreshed. Okay. As if you just had a fresh cup of tea. So, and I mean tea in a good way. So Virgo Collective, I want to tell you and reassure you that all things in the home is going to work out fine. Okay. We get the home card for you. So there's going to be a healthy change happening inside of your home. And whether you know it or not, this is also because you're not willing to say, to stay standard, to stay like how it has been before. Maybe it wasn't so great. And now you're wanting that change, and you've done a change. You've practiced doing a change, so to speak. And now that change is going to be happening inside of your home, Virgo Collective, okay? Though inside of you feels kind of saddened, feels down on a scale of 0 to 10, my Virgo Collective, your energy right now on the positive thermostat feels like it's at a 0, okay? Why is that? Why do you feel like you're at a 0? And you're also feeling like the sun's not shining at you, because we also get the sun card, but backwards, right? It was backwards. So you're feeling as though that you're not getting enough happiness, or you're not happy in your life. But you're still making a stand for what you believe should be yours, right? Happiness. right then this week, happiness is one of the key topics for you, Virgo Collective. And then also making a say and doing the right thing, because judgment cards comes up. Virgo Collective, you need to be, I'll say that you've been pretty good at making your say and changing up your home, and things are going to look better in the home. But inside of yourself, that's where the change also needs to happen, in your soul piece. Okay, Virgo? And I want to tell you this, Virgo, that you're never going to be happy until you find out why. Why are you in this home? Why are you with the partner that you're with? Why did you decide to love who you did, or to be who you're with? This is about your relationship, Virgo Collective. It's also about your career, but career is kind of there, but it's sort of like it's not the highlight. Relationship is your highlight at this time. Though you don't want to think about relationship, it's your highlight. It's the highlight of your life, actually. It is what you would want to talk about. It's what you would want to watch on TV, on, whatever it is that you watch, right? It's what you want to talk about. It's what you want to see, you want to hear. Relationship is in your cards. So if you want something, it's going to come to you. This judgment, okay? This day is going to come soon. In this week, there's going to be some kind of a coming back to reality from where you were with your partner or spouse or husband or friend. That's your partner. Virgo Collective, there's going to be a part of you that wants to talk it out, but I think you've talked it out enough. So right now, I want to give you the suggestion to say, just relax. Though you've put your foot down, you want to relax, because something's going to come to play, and it's going to open up itself to you. It's going to like appear before you, this judgment part. Okay. And it's spiritual within the soul as well, but also on the outside, so external of you, that this judgment is going to be happening, and that you're going to feel like as if, the sun or the moon started to shine on you again. So I want you to start to become happy. You purposely become happy. Even if you had to pretend, it will help. So then it starts to build a momentum for that happiness to come in. Okay. And you don't want to acknowledge the anger part of you, but you want to acknowledge the happy and content part of you, so that it can overwhelm or overcome this part of you that doesn't feel too happy at all, due to what you had to go through with your spiritual self, your spiritual path, and your partner as well, on the other hand. So, Virgo Collective, allow the sun to shine in on you by saying, yes, I allow, by also affirming to yourself that I'm happy as I can be, because I'm here, I'm breathing, I'm not ill. Okay, for those of you out there, Virgo Collective, you're not ill. Okay, you're not imbalanced, and you've tried and helped yourself with balancing a ton. So be proud of yourself that that's happened, and that the home situation is going to improve for you in this week. Okay. All right. Yes, we have Msher Jawa 09. That resonates so much as a Virgo. Thank you for commenting in the chat. If you guys need anything from me, my benevolent collective that are watching, you're loyal, you guys are subscribers, followers. If you're new to the channel, please go out there and subscribe, like, and follow. If you're on Facebook, follow. And go, and you guys can, you're free to tell me what kind of topics you guys would like to hear about as well. Type that in the chat as well for me. I'll come back and look. And if you want to, you can also type that under the post in Facebook as well, or on Facebook as well. Okay. But if this has been resonating with all of you, you found gold nuggets in this show today, give me hearts and stars in the chat right now for Juju Chi or good luck energy. I know it's not Friday, but it's still good luck energy on any day, in any time that you want that good luck energy. Juju Chi to all of you. And I want to tell you this, be the change. Be the person that can awaken with humanity on earth today. Though some of you may not be fully awakened, you know yourselves and you know what you want, but you're not willing to make that call, just like we talked about Virgo and I think even Leo and Cancer today. You need to make the call because you can, okay? But at the same time, be humble about it. Don't put your ego, don't put your pride up just because you can make a call. You still have to be humble about it so that that call happens for you. Very important gold nugget right at the end there. Warmest blessings to all of you. Go like, subscribe, and click on that notification button. Go follow if you're on Facebook or even TikTok. I'm out there on TikTok and Instagram as well. And so thank you so much for being loyal followers, subscribers, and watching the channel and the show. Warmest blessings and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.